These 5 scams are ripping off Florida homeowners, and the one that's got me the maddest, a dirty realtor scammed an elderly couple out of millions of dollars right here in Florida. I'm gonna show you exactly how these scams work so you can protect yourself and your family. And unfortunately, the shady realtor isn't the only one pulling off major scams in the Sunshine State. There's people out there stealing homes using artificial intelligence, faking paperwork, and finding new ways to rip off homeowners. I'll break down the 5 biggest scams happening right now in Florida so you don't end up the next victim. Let's go. Number 5 on the list really blows my mind. Imagine someone pretending to be you and selling your house without you even knowing. Sounds impossible, right? But it's happening right here in Florida, and scammers are using artificial intelligence, or AI, to pull it off. Recently, in Hallandale Beach, a scammer tried to sell a vacant property they didn't own. They reached out to a local realtor via text and said they wanted to sell their property. Then they told the realtor they were deaf.
Well, she said, I'm deaf. I can't hear, I have an issue, a problem, let's text.
So they'd rather text and email than getting on a phone call. It makes sense, right? When I was a realtor back in Michigan, I sold houses for people that I'd never met in person. But here's the thing, with today's technology, these scammers are getting good. They created fake IDs and documents to back up their claims to the property, but luckily, the title company they use for the closing requires a Zoom call for out-of-state sellers so that they can verify the person actually wants to sell the property. Here's what happened when they jumped on that Zoom call for that exact verification.
Closing. Somebody wanted to buy a piece of land and we're here to make it happen.
Hello?
At first, the Zoom was going fine, but then something seemed off.
This is why you hire professionals. Luckily, these people were able to spot it.
The woman on the call looked like the pictures on the license and passport, but she wasn't acting normally.
Margaret?
They tried different commands.
If you can hear us, can you raise your right hand, please?
Lauren says they quickly realized it was an AI-generated image.
Thank goodness this title company was able to spot the fake and stop this transaction from going through. Otherwise, the buyer would have been out $52,000, and there's nothing anyone could have done about it. And what's worse, there's nothing stopping these scammers from finding another realtor and title company and trying again. The local police are saying this is the first time they've seen AI used in this type of fraud, but it won't be the last. So you need to ask yourself, is your property safe? WSVN Channel 7 News dug a little deeper on who this alleged owner really is, and here's what they found.
In this case, we tracked the picture back to a missing woman from California. Turns out the real owner died. Her niece has been paying the taxes, and the property is not for sale.
These AI-generated scams are becoming more common because the technology is getting better and easier to access. Scammers can now create realistic fake IDs and documents using AI, making it harder to spot the fraud. To protect yourself, always verify the identity of anyone claiming to sell a property. Be cautious with online transactions and consult with trusted real estate professionals. Remember, if something feels off, it's better to double check than to become a victim of these sophisticated scams. Stay alert so you can keep your property safe from these high-tech thieves. Number 4 on the list is targeting all my friends down in beautiful Miami. This one sucks. Imagine pulling into a parking spot in Miami, scanning the QR code on the parking sign to pay your parking fee, and thinking you're all set, only to find out later you got scammed. Your money didn't go to the city, it went straight into a scammer's pocket. And now you might even get slapped with a parking ticket. This is exactly what's happening all over Miami, and it's gotten so bad that the city is removing QR codes from all parking meters. Here's how the scam works. Scammers print fake QR code stickers and slap them right on top of the real ones at public parking lots. When someone scans the fake code, it takes them to a fake website that looks just like the real one. You enter your payment information thinking you're paying for parking, but instead, the scammers steal your credit card info. Some people don't even realize they've been scammed until they check their bank statements, or worse, when they come back to a ticket on their windshield. The Miami Parking Authority has already removed 6,000 QR codes from meters across the city, but there are still 1,000 left, meaning this scam isn't over yet. Officials say they've been getting reports of this scam happening all over the country, not just in Miami, and they're trying to get ahead of it before more people fall victim. So what can you do to protect yourself? Simple. Don't use QR codes to pay for parking. Instead, use the official pay by phone app, or pay at the meter directly. If you see a QR code sticker, don't scan it. And if something looks suspicious, report it to the city. Scammers are getting more creative every day, but being aware of how they operate is the best way to avoid being their next target. Number 3 on the list really gets me upset because it shouldn't be this easy to screw people. Imagine waking up one day and finding out someone else legally owns your house. You didn't sell it, you didn't sign anything, but according to the official records, your home isn't yours anymore. That's exactly what happened to multiple homeowners in Tampa, and the scam is shockingly easy to pull off. Why has this gotta happen where I live? A woman named Michelle Cherry and her husband, Victor Rodriguez, stole 3 different homes in the Tampa area using a quitclaim deed scam. A quitclaim deed is a legal document that lets you transfer property ownership fast, usually used between family members or in simple real estate deals. But scammers love it because it doesn't require much verification. Here's how they did it. They searched online for homes that looked abandoned or under construction. Once they found a target, they forged the owner's signature on a quitclaim deed, filed it with the county clerk's office, and just like that, the house was legally theirs. It only cost them $70 in paperwork fees to steal a home worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One of their victims, Larry and Drea Bilby, weren't living in their home at the time because of construction, but their security cameras caught the scammers on their property multiple times. They even switched the water and power bills into their own names, making it even harder to prove who the real owners were. The only reason the Bilbys found out before it was too late was because their county offers property fraud alerts, a free service that notifies homeowners if anything is filed against their property. That's how they realized their home was stolen, and they were able to fight back. Tampa police arrested both Cherry and Rodriguez, and if convicted, they're facing 10 to 285 years in prison, depending on how cooperative they are with authorities. But even with them behind bars, fighting this scam cost the Bilbys a fortune in legal fees, and it's a long, frustrating process to undo the damage. If this can happen in Tampa, it can happen anywhere. That's why every Florida homeowner should sign up for property fraud alerts through their county clerk's office, or they can visit this website. I'll drop it in the video description below. I did it, and it's free. It takes 2 minutes, and it could save you from losing your home to scammers. Now, this dirty little trick isn't just happening in Florida. Quitclaim deed scams happen all around the country, so no matter where you're watching this from, you need to protect your property and your peace of mind. Number 2 on the list targets homeowners in my hometown again, damn it. St. Petersburg, Florida. Imagine trusting your mailman to deliver your mail only to find out he's stealing credit cards straight from your mailbox. That's exactly what happened in St. Pete when Jesse L. Anderson, 43, a U.S. Postal Service worker, was caught stealing credit cards from people's mail while on his mail route. Postal employee Newman would not be pleased. Anderson didn't just take the cards, he activated them using personal information found in the mail and went on spending sprees like they were his own. Victims started noticing unauthorized charges on their accounts, and once complaints started piling up, authorities launched an investigation. Eventually, the fraud was traced back to Anderson and he was arrested. He later pleaded guilty to mail theft, a serious federal crime that could land him in prison for up to 5 years. This case is a reminder that even the people we trust the most can sometimes take advantage of us. Here's how you can protect yourself from mail theft. Check your accounts often. Keep an eye on your bank and credit card statements for any suspicious charges. Sign up for informed delivery. The USPS offers a free service that emails you pictures of your incoming mail so you know what to expect. And if you can, use a locked mailbox to prevent easy access to your mail. And if you suspect mail theft, report it to the USPS and local authorities immediately. Anderson might be off the streets now, but there's always another scammer looking for their next victim. And if this guy was doing it down here in Florida, you can bet there's some other clown trying it somewhere else in the country. Stay alert and make sure your mail isn't their next target. And now we get to number 1 on the list. This one makes my blood boil. A Florida realtor, Jason Valiant, scammed an elderly couple out of $1.6 million, but it gets much worse. He even forged medical documents to take one of them off life support. Yeah, this guy's a real piece of work. Valiant was supposed to be helping 64-year-old Daniel Farley and 61-year-old Emmett Mood sell their real estate, but instead, he saw an opportunity to take everything they had. Both men ended up in the hospital, and Valiant forged documents, gained power of attorney over them. That meant he could access their bank accounts, their properties, and even make medical decisions. The same day those documents were signed, Mood was put on a ventilator and he died less than a month later, after Valiant had told them to take him off life support. While Mood was in the hospital, Valiant started draining their bank account. At first it was small, a gym membership, gas station purchases, a $6 transaction, probably to see if anybody would notice. Then he tried to transfer $33,000 out of their accounts, and that's when the bank stepped in and launched a fraud investigation. Turns out Valiant had been planning this scam for nearly a year. He wasn't working alone either. Another realtor, Constance Keller, who went by Coastal Connie, was arrested for helping him cover it all up. Their plan? Take over the couple's $1.9 million estate, which includes beachfront property in Flagler Beach, and they wanted to develop it into luxury condos or a resort hotel. The only reason this scam got exposed is because Valiant's own girlfriend turned him in. She reported him to state regulators after noticing he wasn't properly listing the victim's properties and was suspiciously spending money. Good for her. She also questioned why he suddenly had a new car that belonged to the victims. Authorities arrested both Valiant and Keller, and they're facing serious charges: fraud, grand theft, and crimes against the elderly.
There's a special place in hell for what they did to this couple.
This is why you gotta be careful who you trust with your finances and legal documents. If an elderly family member is dealing with real estate, help them keep an eye on everything. And if something doesn't seem right, speak up, because scumbags like this are always looking for their next targets. Now, it's real easy to say that Florida needs to do a better job at protecting its residents, but the truth is, this kind of crap goes on everywhere, all across the country. So share this video with your family and friends to make sure they stay alert and safe too. Encourage them to sign up for property fraud alerts and do things like put freezes on their credit reports so scammers can't open up new cards in their names. The more we're aware of stuff like this happening, the better we can protect ourselves. And if that doesn't get you a little upset about what's going on here in Florida, then I know this will. What if I told you there's a way to stop all houses from flooding after hurricanes in Florida? How do I know? Because there's a country that's already done it. Check out this next video where I'll show you exactly how this can be done and why other states are implementing it, but Florida's not. Click here and I'll see you there.